Well, I'm back with the finished version of this 83 Hearst Oldsmobile. It's actually built to represent an 82 Olds Cutlass Supreme that I had back in the day. There's an interesting story that goes with that. I'll tell you in a get to in a few moments. I've got it all done here. Mine didn't have the bigger engine and the fancy mag wheels on it. Just had the regular hubcaps, but it was this gray with the blue cloth interior. I painted it up to look like mine as much as I could. There's a few little differences, but overall it's pretty close to the one that I had, and came out quite nice. The only difficulties I had was the windows. All the windows go in from the outside in. Had a little bit of trouble with that. I had to scrape off some of the paint and primer that was on there to get them to fit in properly, and put some Mod Podge around, and they kept sliding around trying to get them into place and falling in and out, but once they're in, they do look pretty good. Got a little bit of detail painting on the engine. It's a nicely detailed engine. I didn't use too many of the decals, just on the side marker lights here. I used the Krylon chrome paint under the bumper here to show that in chrome, and I just dry brushed some silver paint over the grille and around the headlight openings there, and around the windows. Got the clear red lenses just glued on there. This is a decal here for the backup lights, and I didn't use any pinstriping. This is what mine pretty much looked like. I don't have any pictures of mine as a completed car. I'll show some pictures of one that's very similar, and then the few pictures that I do have of mine. Do a couple of shots of this, and then we'll get to the story behind it. A little bit of dusting and dirting up the bottom just to make it look used a little bit, not too much rust, but just used up a bit. It's been driven. And the only problem I had with it also is that it all went together pretty well, but it seems to sit pretty high. It rides pretty. I couldn't get it any lower than that, so it just looks a little awkward there. It looks a little bit raised up. But anyways, there it is. I'll get the hood on it, and it'll be back on the shelf. So I don't have very many pictures of the actual car that I had. Here are a couple of pictures I found on the internet that look very similar to the one I had. But what the story is behind it is this. One winter morning, while I got up to get ready to go to work, I went down, and since it was pretty cold, I went down and plugged the block heater in on the car, came back in the house, and went in and took a shower. When I came back into the bedroom, there was red lights flashing all around in the room, and I looked out the window, and the car was on fire. I guess the block heater had shorted out and caused the fire. The whole front end of the car burned off. One of my neighbors saw the smoke and called the fire department. This is what was left of the car. You'll notice here that it was so hot the front left tire burned right off of the rim. So that's the tragic demise of my 1982 Olds Cutlass Supreme. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what's up next.